Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and we're going to be taking a look at a new knife brand that I just discovered. I was on Amazon searching for certain things, and once in a while I do come across new knife brands that I never knew of, and I decide to order them to kind of check them out. This time around I ordered 3 different models from the same brand, and it is this one here. It's called Sitivien. Now I've seen a couple reviews on YouTube, or I went looking for reviews on YouTube on these, and they were pretty favorable, especially for what you're getting and for the prices. So I decided to pick up 3 different models, completely different from each other, just to check them out to see what they're all about. So I wanted to go ahead and give you a first impressions on it. I just received these. The good thing about Amazon is that you can, if you have Prime, you'll get them really quickly. So that's exactly what I did. So we'll take a look at this first one here, and here it is. So this model is, and what they do is they do model numbers. So this one is the ST147. Again, you know, I would prefer companies to do names because it makes it a lot easier to remember, but they went with model numbers, and that is perfectly fine. Now, first things first, and I know you should be looking at dimensions and stuff like that, but this knife looks a lot bigger in the pictures on Amazon than it does in person. I was hoping that it would be a larger size knife because that's what I was looking at, and then when I opened up the box I saw that it was a little bit smaller than I was expecting. So this particular one, it is available in a couple of different offerings. This one is in a green micarta handle, as you guys can see right there, and it does have a black colored blade. So the green micarta is nice. It feels like regular micarta would, but again, we're talking about sub $25 for this knife. So obviously, you know, fit and finish is okay. It's not 100%, but for what you're paying and what you're getting, I think it is well worth it. So again, this is the green micarta. It was pretty interesting that they did a blue pivot collar here. I don't know why, because there's nothing else blue on the whole knife, but yes, they went with a blue pivot collar there, and I think in all of the color offerings they do offer it blue, but again, as I mentioned, this is available in a couple of different colors as far as the handle and the blade itself. So you do have a lanyard hole right in the back here, nice and sizable, so you could definitely fit any size paracord through there, and then that's actually created with the back spacer here. You have a little bit of ribbing. I'm not going to call that jimping because it's kind of it's not purposely jimping, it's more ribbing. And then on the other side you do have your deep right pocket clip. It is only left side tip up carry though, so again, if you're right-handed, unfortunately this one does not have the option to swap it out. You do have a flipper tab right here. It is very small, which is it's fine. You don't need anything too large to be able to deploy the blade, because it flies out very, very nicely. And what really caught me was the ergos on this. As far as the look of it, the blade shape in comparison to the handle shape was pretty interesting in my opinion. So I'm kind of going through some of the dimensions here just so you guys can get an overall feel for what this is. So this has an overall length of 6.93 inches. The blade is 2.99 inches, so right underneath 3 inches there. And then the handle is 3.94 inches. Weight on this little guy is 3.09 ounces, so very, very lightweight. Now, as far as blade steel on this, this is 14C28N. So again, it's not, you know, anything special to write home about, but it's usable for a majority of EDC tasks, and the best thing is it's pretty easy to sharpen back up. You do have a hole right there, which you can use to deploy the blade if you want to. It's just kind of difficult to get to. So obviously you're going to want to use the flipper tab there, but that little cutout in front of the blade hole actually aids in getting your thumb in there. Obviously, the key thing on this blade is the big, huge belly right in the front right there, which is gonna, you know, slice very nicely. Now, I do like the fact that they did include the model number on the blade here, so ST147, and then the blade steel 14C28N right underneath there, which is really nice. Fits pretty nice in my hand. As you can see right here, I got a full 4-finger purchase, and you do have a little bit of jimping right at the top here. My thumb lands right directly and is, you know, it's pretty easy to use. It is a liner lock, so disengaging the lock, you can go ahead and close the blade. Not the smoothest closing blade, but it is pretty centered, which is nice. But all in all, for a sub $25 knife, I think you can't go wrong with this one here. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other models here. The next one is going to be this one. I'll set this one off to the side for now. And this one here is, I kind of, liked the way the micarta looked on most of them, so I decided to pick up a couple of them in micarta. So this particular model here is going to be the model ST124. And again, it is available in a couple of different colors as far as the blade goes and as far as the handle goes. As I mentioned, I went with this, and this is more of a brown micarta. You can see here side to side. There is a slight difference. I'm not sure if it's coming up on camera, but there is a slight difference between the green one here and the brown one over here. Again, this one is a little bit larger than the first one that I showed you guys there. You do have the micarta on this side, which feels really nice, and then on the opposite side, you do have your pocket clip. Again, this one is not reversible, tip up, right side carry only, but it is a pretty deep right clip, which is really nice. You do have a back spacer right here, and then through the back spacer and the handle scales, you do have a flat opening here, so you can put your paracord there, and if you want to go ahead and add a lanyard, you can go ahead and do that. Now this one deploys via the dual thumb studs that you have here, so you have left and right thumb studs, and it activates very nicely. It opens up really, really nice. I like the blade shape that this one has. It has this really nice upswept that comes to a pretty aggressive tip right there. But obviously, the selling point for this one, at least for me, was the, I guess I'll call it an axis lock, because that's what everybody knows that. The axis lock right here, which acts very nicely. It's very smooth, very fidgety. Like you would hope and you expect from anything that has to use that type of locking mechanism. So again, this is Sitivien, and this particular one is model ST124, as you can see there in the blade, and this one is in D2. So obviously for majority of EDC tasks, D2 is going to be perfect steel to be able to use for that. Very, very fidgety, as you guys can see here. So let me give you a couple of the dimensions. The overall length on this is 7.87 inches. The blade is actually 3.35 inches, so a little over 3.3 inches, so 3.35. And then the handle is 4.53 inches. This is coming in at 3.92 ounces, so you're still going to get a nice light carry knife. You do have a little jimping right there on the thumb ramp, which allows my thumb to kind of grip in there very nicely. And then you do have a little bit of a choil there that my thumb can get into. Obviously, this is the axis lock, as I mentioned already. And you do have black liners, which are skeletonized, and that's where it brings down the weight to that 3.92 ounces. So very, very easy to carry this guy around. So let's go ahead and put him to the side here, and we'll take a look at the last model here, which is, again, one that I just received. So this one is micarta as well. As I mentioned, I kind of went crazy with the micarta. This one being obviously black micarta, and this model is the ST133 in the black micarta. Again, it's just like the other ones. It is available in a couple of different colors as far as the handle material and the blade material as well. So this one is a little bit thicker, has a little bit more heft to it. It feels a little chunkier, but I do like that because it kind of goes with the overall feel of the knife itself. You have the black micarta here on both sides, and then your deep right pocket clip. Again, this one being only left side carry. Right side carry, tip up only. So you have a small little back spacer that comes on the top here, but it actually comes all the way down to here. And then there is an opening right there with a barrel that you can go ahead and put your lanyard through if you so desire. This one does have a flipper tab as well with a little bit of jimping right at the top there. And as you use that, it deploys this really, really awesome looking blade. So check that blade out. It is very tall, very wide. I think it looks really awesome for mainly any type of EDC tasks. Even getting into harder use EDC tasks, I think that blade is going to be very, very useful. You do have a little bit of a finger choil right there, and then the flipper tab kind of comes down and it allows you for that finger not to move. You have some jimping right at the thumb ramp right there, and my thumb locks in there very, very nicely. Here it is in my hand. Again, as you can see, I get a four finger purchase, and there's still a little bit more kind of hanging out right at the bottom there. This is probably the most comfortable in hand out of the three models, just because it's a little bit larger. But again, this feels like you can go ahead and put it through the paces and not have to worry about it. Again, you have the logo right there on the black blade, and then on the other side, the model number ST133, and again, this one is in D2. It is a liner lock, so you can go ahead and disengage that, and this one closes very, very smoothly, so let me go ahead and close it so you guys can see that. So just a little bit of a shake and the blade closes in there because, again, it is a little bit larger, heavier blade. You do have some liners. Oh, there we go. You do have some liners, which are skeletonized as well. So it helps keep the weight down a little bit. Dimensions on this one overall is 8.27 inches with a blade of 3.5 inches. So 3.5 inches on that blade. And I don't know if you guys can make it out, but there's a slight little kind of dip in the bottom right there. And I just love the way that looks. Very, very thick, so you're not going to have to worry about the tip or anything like that breaking off. And then a little bit of the belly right there, which you can go ahead and if you're going to do some rocking cuts or anything like that, you can do that. So as I mentioned, 8.27 inches overall. Blade length is 3.5 inches. Handle is 4.76 inches, and this is coming in at 5.33 ounces. So 5.33 ounces. Again, it's a little bit chunkier, a little bit heavier. So you guys can see the the scales, the skeletonized scales, and then the actual micarta scales are very thick. It is open back design, flow through design, which makes it easy to clean if you want to. But I think this is going to be a great do it all, do all knife as far as for EDC purposes, especially with that deep right clip. I do like the way that looks for sure. So let me go ahead and open up the three models here. I'll put them up one on top of the other so you guys can kind of see the difference in size. And there we go. So again, from the smallest one down to the very bottom, which is the biggest one. So I was pleasantly surprised with this brand. Again, I wasn't too familiar with it. It's called Sitivien, but the majority of these are sub $30 or $25. So for that price, if you're looking to kind of check them out for yourself, I would definitely recommend it. I'll leave the link below where I picked them up from Amazon if you want to go ahead and check them out. Check out the different colors. I kind of stuck to a particular theme, so I went with the micarta colors and the black blade, as you guys can see here. But they do have other colors available in all three of these models. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check out those links below. So there it is, just a quick initial impressions and first look at a couple of Sitivien knife models that I picked up from Amazon. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.